Okay, I think we have our groups ready. We have Langtheris is here, but on the train, unfortunately, so we'll have to sort of take over some of Langtheris's story of where we're at and the origins of this. I'll try to do it justice to kick us off, and then we'll talk for a bit, and we'll as we do that, I'll open it up to everybody to be able to chime in and say a few words. And then as this progresses, we'll take each of our events in each of the games, and there'll be in various games different activities. But in WoW, our traditional march towards Orgrimmar, and for the first time ever, both Alliance and Horde marching together to the gates of Orgrimmar, and then our final celebration afterwards. So let me kick it off. This is well, let's see here. This is our 12th Remembrance Day. Just about our 12th, maybe 13th or 14th, depending if you count a couple of the ad hoc ones we've had along the way. The guild was founded back in February of 2007, and it grew really rapidly. It was a bunch of good friends that were coming from other places, had been playing together for a while. The AIE part of the current guild started up then in 2007 in the beginning of February, and it was a community, and it was a family right away, and that's really part of what this event is all about, is celebrating that community that we are and the family that we are. In August of 2007, there was a bit of a tragedy. So the guild had been this family, of a really important family unit, and there was a guy in the guild at the time who was the epitome of everything that we expect in AIE culture. And his name was Bruce Galloway. And Bruce would go out of his way in game or in real life to help anybody with anything. I mean, he was just everything that we would want out of what it means to be AIE. Bruce would help you out at a moment's notice. Bruce was friends with everybody in real life, and a really big part of sort of that culture and feeling of the guild. Very suddenly in August, the beginning of August, he was admitted to the hospital, and with some heart problems at the time, and ended up passing away soon after. That incident was quite a shock. It was quite a shock to the whole community. It wasn't anything that anybody had really sort of expected. You know, you expect that we're all here to have fun and play games with friends. You start to build up these friendships and this feeling of family, and then something like that happens, and it's a real shock to the system. Spontaneously within the game, not long after that news broke, in World of Warcraft, everybody decided that they were going to gather where World of Warcraft is gathered right now, at the Shrine of the Fallen Warrior on the hill, just to take a moment and to remember Bruce and remember what he meant to the guild. Bruce's character name was Milliways. The channel that we're in right now is Milliways. You'll see references to Milliways in a few different places across our guild facilities. That spontaneous grouping of everybody coming together to remember Bruce and really reflect on how we've really become a family at that time, that was the first remembrance event. Since then, every August 2nd, we've decided, and it just sort of gelled over time, the first August 2nd, the first anniversary in August 2nd of 2008, Langtheris said, let's do it again. Let's remember Bruce. Let's get together. Let's have our remembrance event at the Shrine of the Fallen Warrior and do our anniversary of this event. So that was the second one. In 2009, that continued. And in 2010, sad event struck us again. So there was another character player in the guild. His name was Adam. His character was Bodhi. Bodhi passed away, and that hit us all again pretty hard. And we realized that it's not just a Milliway event that we're going to end up with here for our remembrance, but as we grow and mature and the time passes, both of friends within the game and of friends and family members outside the game, there's a lot of family to think about and consider and remember. So then by about the August of 2010, Stig had the idea to expand the Millie Way Memorial Walk into that overall idea of Remembrance Day, and wanted it to be focused on everybody that we've lost in game, that idea of what Millie Way and the culture that he brought, but also all of our friends and family and everyone we've sort of lost along the way in our lives. Just give us all a moment to, in our virtual family and our real families, to think about that. In 2011, as this progressed, the guild continued to get bigger. We started expanding into more games. And the first game outside of WoW, where the second, the co-broadcast, the simulcast Remembrance Walk was in Rift. And at that time, the person who sponsored that expansion of the guild and the Remembrance Day event into Rift was a guy that's near and dear to all of our hearts named Ralph. So Ralph, way back from the beginning of the guild, was again another huge part of this culture, huge part of what it meant to not only become what AIE is today in WoW, but in all of these other games where we exist now. And as of February of 2017, we lost Ralph. And that was another huge impact to everybody. You think of 6 months in how big of an impact losing Bruce was. And you think of 10 years of in-game and personal and in-person relationships. I knew Ralph very well. I had spent a lot of time with him in person and in game. All of us had. To lose someone that central to the community after 10 years, we just really realized that this continues to be an important thing to do, and I don't think we'll ever stop. So that's where we stand right now. So this is our Remembrance Day event. We remember, if you look in general chat, we remember Milliways, we remember Bodhi, Vandaclaw, Ralph, Borgaz. There's more and more names that have sort of been added to our public lists, and all in our hearts, there's a private list for each of us as well. That's what we want to take a minute here to think about. So let's just do a couple minutes of silence. And then I'm gonna open it up and see who'd like to talk and say a few words as well besides me. Okay, well, unfortunately, we don't have Ralph's voice. We also don't have Lanktheris's voice, who could certainly talk to us more about that history. Kim, are you on? Were you able to get in here on voice?
I don't know if you can hear me.
Yes, sure can.
Oh, okay. Yes, I made it in. So I just wanted to say just a few words about Ralph. He was one of those amazing people who always was looking out for that other person. He always was looking to help somebody, or he was always looking to surprise somebody to make them happy. He was always looking to better somebody's life. He always enjoyed his own life, but I think it was his friends and his family that really made him the happiest. And he was a joy to be around. And I think not having him around, it's left a little black hole in the universe, because I know so many people whose lives that he has affected. And every day I still see people who miss him, who remember him fondly. And I don't think there's anybody out there who has a bad word to say about him, because he was just an amazing guy.
Link Theris made the comment. You can read some of Link Theris's thoughts in the general channel of times that he had spent with Ralph. I know I really appreciated what Ralph was able to do to make every moment that you spent with him really personal. There was multiple times when I was relatively new to the guild, and I would be playing some game, and I'd be in Discord, and he'd, or not in Ventrilo at the time, or not even in, and Ralph would whisper me, and he'd say, "Hey, jump into voice. I want to chat with you," and he'd tell me about some game and pull me into something and talk for an hour. We'd hang out and have fun. And it really, it made me feel special. And then I found out.
And I think that's what he would. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah. No, and it really did. And then I found out that while it was him, and me having a connection, he had that same connection with everyone. And I just thought that was just so amazing how he was able to do that and make those connections and make every moment he spent with anyone special for them. Wow, that got me there.
And that's exactly what he would do. If he knew that you were interested in something and that he could help you with it, he would go research things about whatever subject it was or whatever interest you had and give you information so it could, broaden your view on it or help you along with whatever it was. If it was a problem or just music or TV or something that, you had an interest in. So I think, and that's really what made him a special person too.
So I can certainly ask.
Cyrene, did you have some thoughts?
So, I just wanted to say, about Ralph was a great guy, and I know we've talked about him the past couple of years at Remembrance, and I know many of you know, but one of the best things about him was during Summer of Love a couple of years back, 4 years ago, he actually married me and my husband in game the week before we got married in real life. So he was just a great guy and everything. But what some of you might not know is that we actually started an event in WoW called Ralph's Amazing Race. And it's in February, and I'd like to see everybody there that remembers Ralph. It was one of the last events that he wanted to put together before he passed away, and to honor him, kind of in a way where we honored Millie Way and ended up evolving this Remembrance Day out of that. We created this event for Ralph in February as a way to honor him. So we'll have more information obviously later on, but while everybody's here and we're talking about him and what a great guy he is, I'd really like to see a lot of people come out and remember the good times with him in February.
Yeah, that event, Ralph loved that event. Ralph loved the Amazing Race event. We did it once, long time ago, in Star Wars, and Ralph got wind of the event, and that was one of those things again where he loved to pick the best of everything and the ideas of what was the best about our community and sort of spread it around. So that and those kinds of events, what we've done this whole week in Summer of Love, this is the kind of thing that, in addition to remembering people, that we want to celebrate as part of Remembrance Day and part of thinking about our community and part of the whole week of Summer of Love. So Summer of Love is always centered around Remembrance Day, but now it's really become just an element of it. Remembrance Day has. And that whole celebration of our culture and community and spending time together with each other has ballooned, both figuratively and literally, as I look around here in WoW, to a really fun representation of everything that we do and all the ways that we spend time together. Who else would like to say a few words?
News I just got from a friend. Her stepmother or mother-in-law passed away today. And, well, sorry, I used the wrong pronouns. Their mother-in-law. And she had been suffering. So it's a big thing for them. They'd be joining us, except their computer's not up for it. So I figured I wanted to say something about it so that we're going to lose people. It's not fun.
All right. I got to lighten the mood a bit.
But trying to live life and enjoy it, because I hear stories of those that passed.
All right. So first of all,
oh, am I not coming through?
I got to lighten the mood a bit.
No, there was just a bit of background noise. Continue.
Okay. My friend Alaire, their parent, mother-in-law, passed away literally today, and they wanted to make sure people knew that their mother was an awesome person, had supported them in the gaming, having fun, and being just a good person.
Thanks, Mom. And thanks for bringing it on their behalf. So I'm going to keep asking who'd like to say a few words. If you don't want to say it out loud, also please type notes in general chat. That we did a lot of that last year, and it was really a nice way to get other notes and wishes and thoughts spread around to the community as well.
So one person I want to always like to remember around this time is my grandfather. He's actually the person that got me into gaming back in the day, and his birthday, he would have been 95 last week. But he kind of cultivated my love for gaming, and like he got me my first like gaming PC and got me all that kind of stuff. So he's one I always like to remember around this time because it is right around his birthday, but also, I mean, he kind of fueled my love for gaming.
That's awesome. Thanks, Corgral. Who else?
All right. Can you guys hear me? Am I live now?
Yes.
You're coming through, Hoots.
All right. Hey, guys. This is Hoots for those of you who can't hear the voice and or don't recognize the voice. And I've been AFK from video game land for really, honestly, in any noticeable amount for maybe 6 months to a year now. And I do have to lighten the mood a little bit. I would not miss Remembrance Day if there was anything that, like, if I had any power to be here for Remembrance Day, it's important enough to me to be here for it. And Lantheris, I know you're listening because I see you in the chat there. Even if, like, maybe 30 minutes ago, I just had like a large Diet Coke from Subway, and it's the first Diet Coke I've had in like 4 or 5 months, and my stomach is just absolutely wrecked right now. I was listening to Max's speech in the bathroom and literally crawled out here to say hi. Let me leave you with that, Mr. Lantheris, just to lighten the mood a little bit. And I know he can't reply right now, but I know he's listening. But really, like this, it's more, I think, and I like all the stories about Ralph really resonate with me. Oh God, when I heard we lost him, I was like, well, where are the adults now? What are we gonna do? And I still think that from time to time. I think about Ralph often, but it's more, I think, it's more than the people we've lost. And for me, Summer of Love and Remembrance Day is now also just about the community itself and kind of how we've all come together in both good and ill. And I've been kind of, some of the council and the officer team knows that I've had a little bit of turbulence in the past couple of weeks, and everyone's just been there. Everyone's been real cool. And even no matter what your headspace is, there's a home for us. I'm like the party that's responsible for the health and fitness channel in our Discord. And it was totally cool to spin that up because we're a family. We're more than games. Frog Fractions, Mr. Lanktheris is awesome. I get calls from him asking me to evangelize the wonderful, awesome game of Frog Fractions to presumably other community members. And if not, Lank, well, they're a part of the family, and that's how we are. And that's like 12 or 13 days later, your nephew, yeah, literally family then. That's what we're about. We're a big family, here for the good and the bad, and that's kind of my thought. And now I'm going to run back to the bathroom for a little bit and hopefully not miss the WoW March. You guys suckered me back into WoW for a month. Good job. I'll probably play it a little bit.
Hey, Hoots.
You're here to that.
That's outright.
Sunday, Dark Moon Fair.
All right. Thank you, Hoots. And Hoots did a good job there of reminding us that this day and this event is also about celebrating the rest of all the awesomeness that is the community too. So yes, I really like the Pixar It Didn't Happen channel and the things that we're posting in there of everything that everybody's showing off. I really like the health and fitness channel of people talking about their real life journeys to health and fitness. I really like the raid team news and raid team recruitment. And I do still get comments that, yes, even though we have 50 raid teams and only a few teams in the other channels, it's those other the other games that are posting in there too. And they have teams, and we've got teams all over the place. So I like seeing all of that too. And that's all evidence, as is, if you look right now at this whole list of people that are joined us here tonight in the Milliways channel, of the community still here, still coming together, which really makes it awesome. One person I always like to remember on this day is my dad. So my dad passed away probably 5 years ago now, and that it was Korgral. You mentioned it, right? Your ritual for how you remember. I think I've told this story before. I have a bottle of cheap scotch in the basement. It's about half full right now. That's the last bottle of scotch I shared with my dad. And every once in a while, in a day like this, I'll pour one shot in the evening after everything quiets down, and think about my dad for a couple minutes. I think I'm going to do that later tonight. Right. Who else? How else are we doing? Again, I really like the comments going on in the general channel. Let's keep those going, and maybe while that's going, and if there's any other things that people would like to say, we can start our marches in each of the games.
I lost my grandma this year.
Hey, Marcus.
She was the best friend I could ever have. I was a real bad kid. I've done some real bad things in my life as a kid. And that's the one person that always stuck by my side. And she passed away, I want to say like 3 months ago. And still to this day, I lose it every day. And this here, I find like I said this a couple of years ago at my first remembrance, that I finally found me when I found AIE. And this day is just as important to me as the day she passed, because I get to stand on this mountain and know that she's there on the mountain with me.
Thanks, Marcus. Okay, leaders in each of the games. Why don't we tag a leader and start our marches, and then hear from anyone else as we go along. Fun memories of the guild, fun memories of family as well. If Lanktheris was here, I'm sure he would have his what's the sandstone dragon transform?
Oh, the one that gives you a ride?
Yeah. That's usually been the leader of our parade in World of Warcraft. So I think in WoW, as I said, first year ever, we've got Alliance and Horde in WoW, both groups part of the parade, and it's going to be a little bit of a different route this year in World of Warcraft because we can't go to the center of Orgrimmar because our Alliance counterparts here would not survive. So it's going to be a slightly different path, and finishing at the gates of Orgrimmar for the fireworks ceremony. And I hear that's going to be spectacular. Beef and his team have some amazing things planned. Go ahead.
This is Grim. This seems suspicious to me. There's Coop tomorrow. I was hoping to see how the Alliance would fare at the back door.
OPSEC, you'll just have to get your intel somewhere else there.
Here to learn your secrets, Grim.
Oh, I'm not concerned at all.
Somehow I ended up in the lead of this WoW train, and somebody else want to do it?
Nope, you're the one that knows where we're going.
Whoa. Who said I knew that?
I mean, you kind of are the co-director, so I mean, yeah.
If you want to tell somebody, I'll get...
Well, you have to lead us around the crossroads so you don't die.
There is that.
Oh, we should just walk right through.
Oh, wait, I can stealth. I'm a rogue. Ash, you're on your own.
I'm a druid.
All right, so I think I fixed my setup, and I have a real dumb question for the WoW people.
Go ahead.
How do you walk?
It is the / key above your number pad.
Oh, awesome. Thank you very much. It has been about a year since I logged in. Last Remembrance Day.
Oh, don't worry. Last time I used RP Walk was last Remembrance Day, so I forgot what it was.
By the way, if anybody's balloon isn't big and they want it big, let me know. I'll throw a treat at it.
Warping out of Wolf 359.
So in WoW, we're doing the walk to the gates of Orgrimmar. In Star Wars The Old Republic, we're doing a walk to House Organa and the memorial at House Organa. In Star Trek, we're doing the flight from Wolf 359 to the memorial. Yeah, where's the memorial, Dent?
It's on Starbase 1 on the mezzanine level. I will bring you guys there. Just follow me.
Evidently, we're going to the left at the crossroads.
Because Alliance people can't run through it.
I know. Well, we weren't concerned about that. I mean, they're going to have to make. They'll have to make some adjustments.
Nah, it's all good.
Yeah, for now. But once we get to the front gate, well, they're going to have to say bye-bye.
Actually, I think we're going to the back gate, right, Pete?
Yeah. The side gate.
Side gate, back gate. Oh, not the back gate. That would be Ashara. Side gate. You're right.
Uh-huh.
Who knows? Just to be fair, maybe next year we'll have to do a march to Stormwind.
Ooh.
Heresy.
That would be interesting.
You know, I always wonder, like, what's some random player who just seems like 50 or 60 people just randomly RP walking with balloons out around the Barrens. And we're like, what are they thinking? What's going on?
Oh, yeah. No, they've joined us before. We've had people join the guild because of Remembrance Day. We've had server people ask, and hey, can we join in and walk with us? So
I saw AIE when you came to Earthen Ring with it was a parade through Orgrimmar. It wasn't the Remembrance Day one, but it was one of these. It may have been the end of a Remembrance Day.
I've seen CTR join us before.
I've seen it cross faction as well.
I think last year we had a couple Alliance people before we had an Alliance side guild join us for part of the walk.
We've regularly had Alliance side people follow us until we got to the gates of Orgrimmar, and then it's like, oh, ouch.
I'm kind of going cross country compared to what we usually do because I was not prepared to lead this whole thing.
Now you know how I felt 2 years ago.
You should be okay sticking to the street.
I'm kind of going diagonal back up to the road, I guess.
yeah, just watch out for fire watch post.
So one of my favorite AIE memories, a couple of them, probably 3 or 4, have always been Nerdtacular. Nerdtacular was the main place that I hung out with people like Ralph in real life, but not just Ralph. But everybody here. I mean, Tetsamini. I see Nevermore and Stu with a picture that was probably taken at Nerdtacular that was just posted in the general channel. Kim in the channel. Probably half the people in Discord now. That was always super awesome. I heard a rumor that Nerdtacular 2020 might be a thing. So that's something for us all to think about and keep in the back of our minds.
Yeah, I'll give it a proper go to finally get out of my my Wisconsin hole and go to one of.
This isn't a personal story. It's one I heard from Scott Johnson on the Instant. But apparently, it was either Nerdtacular or a meetup at BlizzCon. Rolf sat down and played. I think it was Magic with a bunch of like his kids and other people's kids. I mean, that's just I didn't know Rolf because I joined basically 2 weeks before he passed away. But I'm just that shows character. That I mean, you take time just to teach Magic to little kids.
Yeah, I remember that. And Ralph took he saw some kids that looked kind of bored, and he said, "Hey, come over here. Let me show you something." And he got them each deck. He taught them how to play and spent hours and engaged them, got other people involved, and made a whole thing out of it. And again, that was just the kind of thing he did.
I see and hear more and more people here doing the fun stuff and like Ralph's race. But I remember like the crafting fairs and people doing that and having fun with that. And I remember there was a Halloween one, and I got to be a judge on that. And I just loved, it's like do the transmog and come up with silly ideas and be just people, relaxing. having fun.
Oh my gosh, I remember that. I think somebody dressed up as a Ghostbuster, and it was absolutely hilarious.
They rode the goblin trike, and as they came out, they went, wee-oo, wee-oo, wee-oo.
Yeah, the craft fair.
I've got it on my YouTube channel somewhere when I recorded it.
The craft fair was amazing.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say, Sai, is the part of honoring Milliways was doing the AIE craft fair back when leveling professions was actually difficult and required tons of maths, and it wasn't separated by expansions like it is now.
I love doing that.
I know.
I think it can be brought back now that they've split the parts up, so it's not just one big long, crafting of current stuff. You have to craft the older stuff now, and I'm like, I think we could bring it back.
Yeah, we could do a Burning Crusade craft fair day and the war Lich King. Yeah, it's a good idea. It's definitely not out of the realm of possibility. I know I still have the entire jewel crafting guild bank from the fair on one of my.
Yeah, I've got. I have no trouble making bags. Put it that way, as a tailoring captain.
Blacksmithing is ready to go. And I'm not working nights anymore.
I think it's the perfect time, Sai, if it can be organized, to try doing another one in a few months.
Speaking of classic, since we're less than a month away, would we have a guild?
Yes.
Classic's not out yet?
So Classic will be out at the end of this month. We wanted to wait till Summer of Love was done since we had so many news and events and we didn't want to bury it. We will very soon have a blog post up. There's been a poll that's been going on. It's pinned in the WoW channel. And we will be having a Classic guild on the Horde side. And Tetsemi, I think you've got more of the details than I do on what we're going to, how we're going to lay it out. But
yeah, it's definitely going to be the Horde side. We are coordinating or trying to coordinate with CTR to possibly have both guilds end up on the same server. The big thing we're waiting on is the server announcements and that sort of thing. But coming up August 13th, you'll be able to save 3 character names, pre-register essentially those character names. So if there are names that you are attached to and want, make sure you log into Classic on the 13th. And if you are a current subscriber, you have Classic.
Good.
Malung is holding down the fort in Lord of the Rings online in Bree on the overlook above Bree, and just had a mug of some sort of drink and did a little toast here. I don't know what you've done to me though, Malung. You can see
a little bit blurry there.
Stream. I now can't see anything, and my whole screen is green, and I think my character is about to fall over.
I always thought that was an interesting name for a town. It reminds me of cheese.
Brie?
Yes.
Wasn't that an ultimate thing?
I mean, brie is a type of cheese.
No, it's the Lord of the Rings original town from the books. But it is a type of cheese, but spelled differently.
It's one of those stinky but good cheeses.
Okay, we are not far from the back gates of Orgrimmar. On the Horde side, SWOTOR team. Do you want to do?
You mean the WoW side?
Sorry, the WoW.
We have Alliance here as well.
On the WoW side, SWOTOR, do you want to do a shortcut jump to Organa?
You have somebody there. If not, I was just going to stop at this bridge up here.
Yeah, maybe we need to do that also because Is Organa dual faction?
No.
All right.
I was in there yesterday, and I did not leave a tune there. I could have summoned a poem.
Next time.
I am flipping back and forth between 4 games.
I like how Sheo is
going at once.
Yeah, I like how Sheo is a stealth druid kitty following me. Like, nope, you're on your own with the.
Yep. Sheo's actually disappeared because I used to be able to see her walking here.
Smoke, if you could line up on the other either side of the plaque so I can do a screenshot. Thank you.
I don't know if I'm going to make it, but I'm trying.
I'm also in 4 games, so I'm not always looking at Star Trek.
No, understood.
We got 3 in ESO.
I can't load ESO at the same time. That one takes a little bit too much power.
So after this event tonight, after the celebration, there will be a mandatory fun night in Elder Scrolls Online. So that'll be going on. Dankinia will be hosting the group with the usual bits of fun. I think there's going to be some house tours and some other things, right, Dankinia?
Yes, our plan is to do a non-combat evening, but a fun evening. So people have been decorating homes, personal housing in-game, and we're going to do a tour of those and just hang out and spend time celebrating each other.
Is there a level requirement?
No, there's no level requirement for it. And we have some people that are actually really skilled at decorating houses. So hopefully a few of them will be online tonight.
I believe the correct term is obsessive.
Yeah, that's about right.
Spouse.
Well, if those obsessive people are also in Final Fantasy XIV, there's a house that needs decorating, and yeah.
Okay, testing. 1.
Lantheris.
Hello.
Hello.
I am
Greetings.
finally off.
So to our team, face the sun so we can see your faces. There you go. What was I going to say? Oh, so this has been our Summer of Love. If you have not seen all of the events that are going on, there have been many events. Starting on Saturday the 27th, so last Saturday, SWTOR had one of our monthly events. So there's a once a month event in Star Wars, and it was moved to that Saturday for the kickoff. Most of these events were streamed on some various Twitch channels. There's probably going to be highlights on the AIE Twitch channel, AIE Guild, twitch.tv/AIE Guild, if you want to see what any of them looked like. But it was SWTOR Mega Saturday early, and then New Braid Saturday night. That kicked off the week. We did Star Trek on Sunday. Did a bunch of stuff on Ryza, the beach and vacation planet in
looks beautiful.
Star Trek.
On Rishi, right?
Ryza. Too many planets. I messed it up. Yes, many times.
I messed it up as well many times.
Monday, we did Guild Wars, and we did a bunch of world boss fighting. So we were out there hunting world bosses, and that was pretty epic. I got my Guild Wars character all tuned back up, learned how to play it again. Tuesday, Alliance side World of Warcraft World Quest Party. That was epic, and that was then followed by the usual weekly mandatory fun night in Star Wars The Old Republic that we had. What did we do in SWTOR? Datacron runs. A
lot of Datacrons.
Last night was the Kirin Tor Tavern Crawl. How late did that go, Cyrene and Gusty?
I think it was yeah, about an hour and a half to hit all of them.
Okay. All right. So
there was much drinking, much dancing. Don't remember much more than that.
Tour of all the taverns in WoW with the Kirin Tor mage porting everybody. And then after that,
I think there was 8 taverns that we went to because I got a stack of the special booze from everyone. Oh, 9 taverns.
I still had my hat on from one of the taverns when I logged into WoW today on the hill. And then that was followed by a gathering at the Free Company House in Final Fantasy. So there was a beach party in Final Fantasy, a bunch of pictures. You can see pictures, a lot of this stuff in our Pics channel as well. Thursday, did I say that was yesterday? That was Wednesday. Thursday, yesterday, was Guild Wars had a dungeon night, dungeon runs. So we had a bunch of people getting together doing some dungeons. I got a dungeon or 2 in. A bunch of people were in there early while stuff was going on. Tonight, of course, is this event followed by ESO's Mandatory Fun Night. Tomorrow will be 3 events. There'll be the epic, amazing, most awesome ever Coop Special Edition, both factions, and maybe some other special shenanigans from what I've heard leaking from out of ops security.
Oh dear.
So I hope
nobody told me about any of this.
We're not supposed to tell you about any of this.
I know it's secret plans until it's not, but I really hope that by the end of the night, at least once both factions meet head to head.
It's gonna be a hoot. Everybody come and join.
No, that's Hoots over there.
And yeah, Hoots is in the channel.
Welcome to the land of OPSEC, where it's like you don't exactly know what's going on. You know that someone's going to end up dying.
It's need to know, and you don't need to know. But whatever you do, don't die. Following that is going to be a Lord of the Rings Mandatory Fun Night. So we'll be in Lotro, Star Trek. These are free to play games. Even Guild Wars, and a bunch of them are technically free to play at this point. So if you're bored and you want to sort of check in, see what these look like, download, free to play. You can get in, put some characters together. That's one of them. And then following WoW and Lotro tomorrow night will be our usual most awesome, one of our most fun mandatory fun nights of the week across all our games, which will be New Braid. Dankinia, of course, that will be going on, won't it?
Absolutely.
The fireworks have started in WoW.
All right, so in WoW, Beef, do you want to explain what's up with this fireworks and your fireworks team? Are you available to do that?
Of them going into the air. And they're majestic, very fireworky.
So I heard something like 4,000 fireworks have been created for this event?
Somewhere between 3,000 and 4,000.
Okay.
Holy.
What's the effect on the lag now? Or is that something that Blizzard's been working on?
It seems pretty good to me.
Push play. Let's find out.
I'm not having any lag issues.
So, hey, everybody in World of Warcraft, 4,000 fireworks. You can see all of the team members there at each of these locations spread around the back gates here, making this really epic experience. Let's get a thanks and a cheer for all of these epic people. Yeah, really, that's really awesome. Again, this is what we do.
Oh, and don't forget about tomorrow's event. I mean,
and then to wrap
Sunday.
it all up. Yes, no, I wasn't forgetting. And then to wrap it all up on Sunday at 2 p.m. Eastern, in the same way, in sort of the whole theme of Cyrene's virtual con, virtual convention with your virtual ticket that everybody should have in their virtual hands right now. We're going to have a closing ceremony and closing concert in World of Warcraft at the Dark Moon Fair. You, Gusty and Cyrene, you want to explain that?
Awesome.
Wait, Cy isn't going to play an instrument. Isn't going to sing, is she?
Well, I think Gusty has some shenanigans planned for the Dark Moon Fair, and then what I'm thinking is, right at the very end, we'll pick a time, and we'll be like, go to the ETC concert because that'll be like the final concert, you know, like the end night concert.
Link, you don't want to do like a duet, do you?
A duet?
I mean, like, I don't. That's my terrible idea that you and I sing some.
So,
Wait, we're not going to have him read The Owl and the Pussycat again, are we?
No, even better. I just finished the last episode of Stranger. It must be done.
I'm out. See you later.
But Dusty Bun?
Hey,
not Dusty Bun.
Okay, I've got a question about the mandatory fun nights. What happens if you don't have fun?
Well, that's going to be a problem now.
Yeah, GK, clearly.
You'll be kicked out.
There will
of the
be a
guild.
conversation.
If you don't have fun, it's because you didn't try hard enough.
At least a sternly worded letter will be sent.
There's appropriate punishment.
Hey, Star Wars crew, the Republic side are all still hanging out there on the bridge.
Can you not invite them then?
Then so here's our fireworks in Star Wars: The Old Republic as well.
I bet they don't have nearly as many fireworks as we have in WoW.
Well, ours are infinite and automatic, unfortunately. I mean, not unfortunately. Fortunately for us, because we would never have the amount that you have. So we at least can have an adequate display because there's decos that are shooting the fireworks off for us.
And we can keep it up for hours.
See, that's cheating, yo.
It is kind of cheating.
For the record, for Eve, I did try to talk Jedi into doomsdaying a couple of somethings with the Titan, but apparently that's a security risk and vulnerability. So I
have this.
Where did you go, Corley?
So what to say if we, speaking about free to play, if we can get a bunch of alphas into Eve by tomorrow evening, and I would to say jump into a really blingy like frigate, and then we would play the game of how many AIE folks would it take to kill Lank in low security space.
I'll put you in a carrier. I don't want to see in a frigate. Come on, man. Let's go big or go home.
I do have that extra. Yeah,
Make it happen.
You'd fly a carrier.
I can totally fly a carrier.
I don't know how well fit it would be, but
it'd be garbage fit.
Get it with like fireworks launchers, and yeah, we could make that happen.
A bunch of plates on a shield carrier. What could go wrong?
Oh,
I see fireworks still going off in Lord of the Rings as well.
I think they're done in WoW. Am I right, Beef? Are you guys done?
We are out of ammo.
Thank you very much, fireworks team in World of Warcraft. ESO team.
I am gonna back out and let the Horde do their thing and fly around Orgrimmar where I don't die. So that's I'm gonna leave that on you.
If you get high enough, you shouldn't die.
Cyrene is
I like how you say shouldn't.
What could go wrong?
Or high enough.
Dankinia, do you wanna rally your ESO troops and get that going?
Absolutely, I will do that in a moment. I am currently making a pass around Orgrimmar.
Shout out to Dankinia, who is pretty much our top streamer in the guild, streaming things weekly in ESO and WoW and other things. If you are not subscribed to twitch.tv/Dankinia, which is also then hosted typically on AIE Guild, you're missing out on checking out some AIE stuff that's going on a regular basis, which is cool.
Thank you, Max.
Yeah, you are.
If anyone else,
Dankinia does the new braid so awesomely. I love that she's kept it going for a number of years and made it so that people can have fun and be together.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm as low as I can be. New braid is awesome.
Hey, it's sort of scrolled down to the bottom of Discord these days, but it's hot and active. The Content Creators channel. The Content Creators channel has been also coupled with a handful of podcast channels. The AIE podcast, once every 2 weeks on Sunday night, is our guild podcast. If you're not familiar, then you must get yourself familiar ASAP. In that podcast, Tetsemi and Akala and Mewcow have a bunch of the different games rotating in on a regular basis, talk about all the news. We've been talking about Summer of Love and all of these events for the last month. Definitely check that out. But then if you look below that, there's a bunch of other AIE sponsored AIE podcasts that are going on now too. Working Class Nerds. It's this brand new podcast that's on episode 50. They just had their 50th live podcast.
Call back
last night. Anything that's newer than when I started doing something, I call new and brand new. So yes, even though they've been going for almost 2 years now.
I'm dying.
So
why are you dying?
Because I was too low. I was standing on top. I was standing on top of the hold, and the window.
Oh, there you are. Hi, Sai.
Run fast, Sai.
No, she can't get in the air.
Vanish, Sai. Vanish.
I already vanished. They kept attacking me. I had to kill them.
Okay, now we can kill her.
Like PvP, and you can, yeah.
That's right.
Not war mode, just PvP.
Kill one of your guild masters. It's okay. It's fine.
No, we do that with Link all the time. Come on.
Yeah, you know that's our favorite thing to do in Star Wars is kill Max.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, I was going to say, if I ever undocked in Eve, hey, we've killed you in Eve too, remember? So it's not just the guild map.
Okay, number one, we try to kill Max and SOTOR, and somehow it never happens. And number two, you guys killed me 3 times.
3 times.
That was the most evil laugh I've heard from Hoots, I think, ever. Final thing on the Content Creators channel. If any of you in the channel now have content or streams or blog posts that you write or pictures, artwork that you create, post it in that channel. I love that stuff. And we've had some really cool things going on in there lately. Catavari, I don't know why I call him Cav, but Catavari has posted his whole build for the last couple months of his Doc Ock costume for the con that he just went to. So Galaxy Con. He streamed all of his build nights when he was building that costume. He posted a bunch of pictures of him with the costume completed. Super awesome. Let's get more of that stuff in that Content Creators channel. It's awesome. Okay. With that, I'm going to call an end to the Remembrance Day event. We still have fireworks continuing in all the locations. Mandatory Fun Night starting up in ESO. And to finish it off, thank you. Thank you to everyone who came. This is, again, just a huge turnout. I'm really happy. It means a lot. It means a lot to me personally, for everybody participating in all of these games and doing all of this stuff to keep AIE as strong as it's been. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Have a good night.
Good night, everybody.
Good night, guys.